Good morning. Welcome to Greek mythology, background information for our comprehension centers. Miss Kelly, and this is ELA 7 and 8. So why mythology? What we believe to be stories was a polytheistic religion in Greece many, many years ago. People believed the gods and goddesses were responsible for all influence on humanity. Worshippers offered the gods food, prayer, and even sacrifice. And these are the periods of ancient Greece, the different historical periods, just to give you guys additional background information as we go forward. You don't have to memorize this by any means. So what are myths? They are the traditional stories of gods, kings, and heroes. They show the relationship between gods and people, and mythology was a form of early science to Greeks because it helped them to explain the unexplainable. Why should we study mythology? Well, it is the passing down of stories ancient Greek culture has kept alive for thousands of years, and the stories of gods and goddesses have been told in many plays, novels, movies, advertisements, and television shows. And to the left, this should look familiar for all of you who are currently reading The Lightning Thief or who read it last year. So it began, and this is a review. Mother Earth / nature is known as Gaia, and Father Heaven is known as Uranus, and they had 3 types of children. 3 monsters with 100 hands and 50 heads, 3 Cyclops, and the Titans. And according to mythology, these were the first signs of life unlike anything man had ever previously known. And who were the Titans? We've heard about the Titans in both The Lightning Thief and Sea of Monsters, but who were they? The Titans were an elder generation of gods who ruled the cosmos before the Olympian gods came into power. They were responsible for the original ordering of time and the establishment of the fixed heavenly cycles. The oldest Titan, Chronos, and his 4 brothers, Creus, Cous, and Hyperion, and Lepidus, were prisoners in Tartarus by Zeus after they lost the war with the Olympians. Remember, Zeus had his father vomit up his brothers and sisters, for lack of a better way to explain it, and then he challenged him and they went to war. And the Olympians did win, and they cut up Chronos in 1,000,000 pieces and they sent him into the deepest pit of the underworld known as Tartarus. So who were the Titans? And these are the most important of the Titan gods. We've never covered this before, so this is new. We have Chronos, who you know of, Oceanus, Lepidus, Hyperion, Creus, Coeus, Rhea, Tethys, Taea, Phoebe, Themis, and the last one, Mnemosyne. I'm sorry, I don't speak Greek. I'm doing the best I can with these names here. Gaia, and her Roman name is Gaia, so it's a little bit different. She's the goddess of the earth, also known as Mother Nature. Chronos. We know who Chronos is. Chronos mutilated his father and overthrew him. Chronos and Rhea married and produced the Olympians, Hesta, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon. Chronos swallowed them to keep from being overthrown. Because he overthrew his father, he was afraid that his children would overthrow him, so he swallowed them to prevent them from happening. But when Zeus was born, Rhea gave her husband a rock instead. So when he was older, Zeus did in fact overthrow his father Chronos and forced him to disgorge the other Olympians. The Olympians then overthrew Chronos, cut him up into pieces, and buried him in the pit of the underworld. And we've heard this story in The Lightning Thief, and I just discussed it. So Prometheus. Prometheus was the wisest Titan of all. He brought enlightenment and fire he stole from the gods to humankind. He's credited with bringing the power of warmth and light to the dark and miserable earth. Statues of Prometheus can be seen throughout the world, and Prometheus was a Titan, an important one. Atlas is another Titan, and this is new. In Greek mythology, Atlas was a Titan who fought against Zeus. After the Titans lost the war against Zeus, Atlas was condemned by Zeus to stand forever holding up the heavens. And there he is, holding up the earth, the heaven and the earth. So here are the Olympians, and they are again a group of 12 gods who ruled after the overthrow of the Titans. All of the Olympians are related, and they're named after Mount Olympus. So we have Chronos and Rhea, and they had Hermes, Hestia, Demeter, Poseidon, and Hades. Hera and Zeus got married and had Ares and Hephaestus, and then Zeus with Athena had Apollo and Artemis. And here was the group of 12 gods who ruled after the overthrow of the Titans. So after the Titans were defeated and buried in Tartarus and punished and all that good stuff, these are the 12 gods who ruled, and they were as follows: Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, and those are the big three from our books, Hestia, Hera, Ares, Athena, Apollo, Aphrodite, Hermes, Artemis, and Hephaestus. And this should be review. Again, Zeus, his Roman name was Jupiter. He was the king of the gods. His symbols are the eagle, oak tree, and lightning bolt. Zeus ruled over all with lightning and thunderbolts. He's married to Hera, had many children with goddesses and mortals, some of whom were gods and goddesses, and he's the spiritual father of the gods and men. Then we have Hera. She's the goddess of marriage and married women. Her symbols are the peacock and the cow. She's married to Zeus, and she was very jealous. I'm going to go through these quickly because, again, these are review. We've done this already. Poseidon, everybody should know who Poseidon is. His Roman name is Neptune. He's the god of the sea and earthquakes, and his symbols are the trident, the dolphins, and horses. He's Zeus's brother. He lived mainly in an underwater kingdom, and he controlled earthquakes, hurricanes, rough seas, and tidal waves, and he's credited with giving horses to mankind. Then we have Hades. His Roman name is Pluto, and his realm, he is the god of the underworld. His symbols are the Cerberus, which is the three-headed beast that's sitting right beside him, the cypress tree, and the bident, which is the two-pronged spear that he's holding. He guarded the dead, all gems, minerals, and wealth of the underworld, and he tricked Persephone into being with him for part of the year. Hestia, whose Roman name is Vesta, she's the goddess of hearth and home, protector of the sacred fire, and her symbol is the hearth fire. She's Zeus's sister, known for her pure and simple life, and today the word Vestal is known as pure. We have Demeter, whose Roman name is Ceres, and whose realm is the goddess of agriculture or growing of all things. Symbols are sheaves of wheat and the cornucopia. She's Zeus's sister and mother of Persephone. And Persephone was her beloved daughter and kidnapped by Hades for part of the year. When Demeter was sad or lonely, nothing on earth grew. And that's why we have the seasons. That explains the seasons. When Persephone had to go live in the underworld, she was sad and everything froze. So that's how we have fall and winter. Everything died and froze. And then when Persephone comes back, we have rebirth, spring, and summer. Athena, who's the goddess of defensive warfare, wisdom, and handicrafts, and her symbols are armor, the owl, the olive tree. She emerged from Zeus's head fully grown, and the city of Athens is named for her after she gave him the olive tree. Her armor was a gift from Zeus and had Medusa's head on it. Aphrodite is the goddess of love and beauty, and her symbols are the dove, sparrow, rose, and myrtle. She was born on the foam of the sea and rode ashore on a seashell, and she's married to Hephaestus, and her son was Eros, also known as Cupid. Here we have Ares, who is the god of war, hatred, and violence. His symbols are the dogs of war, vultures, spears, and shields. He's the son of Zeus and Hera, and very unpopular because of his short temper. There are no myths written about Ares. We have Hephaestus, who was the god of the forge. He made Zeus's lightning bolts and the armor for war. His symbols are the forge and anvil, and he's the son of Zeus and Hera. Zeus threw him out of heaven for siding with his mother, Hera, husband of Aphrodite, who was constantly unfaithful to him. That upset him a little bit. So Hephaestus is the god of the forge. Apollo, who's the sun god, and also the god of music, truth, poetry, and healing. His symbols are a bow and arrow, sun chariot, and a lyre. His twin brother is Artemis, and he's a protector of single men, and he never married. Artemis, Roman name is Diana, and she's the goddess of the moon, single women, the hunt, and childbirth. And her symbols are the crescent moon, bow and arrow, and short hunting robes, and she is Apollo's twin sister. We have Hermes, who's the messenger of the gods, and god of trade, travel, and theft. His symbol is the winged helmet or sandals, the caduceus. He created the lyre, which he gave to Apollo when Apollo caught him stealing cows. And we see Hermes more in Sea of Monsters. Dionysus, who we also see in both books, Lightning Thief and Sea of Monsters. His Roman name is Bacchus. He's the realm of God. He's the god of wine, parties, and drama. His symbols are bunches of grapes, a wine cup, or leopard. First plays were presented during the festival of Dionysus, and he was popular and known as a party animal, and not typically considered an Olympian god. Now we have Persephone. These are new slides. Persephone is the goddess of the underworld and the wife of Hades. She's the daughter of Zeus and Demeter. Persephone was kidnapped by Hades. Demeter created eternal winter on Earth until Zeus agreed to bring her back. She had eaten 6 pomegranate seeds, so had to remain in the underworld for 6 months of the year. So this controlled the seasons. The 6 months she was with Hades in the underworld, we have fall and winter, and the 6 months she's on Earth, we have spring and summer. So there's Persephone. We have Eros, who's also known as Cupid, who we see a lot around Valentine's Day. His symbol is the bow and arrow. He's the god of love and the son of Aphrodite and Hephaestus. We now have Iris, the goddess of the rainbow, and her symbol, of course, then is the rainbow. She's a messenger specifically for Zeus and Hera, and she's the daughter of the titan Themis and the nymph Electra. Other characters in mythology worth noting. So they aren't big-time gods, goddesses, or titans, but they were interesting, and we are going to see them in our books. We have seen them already, and I thought they would be interesting to include. The Fates. We read about the Fates. The Fates were in the Lightning Thief, and they are the daughters of Zeus. They're 3 blind sisters who determine people's lifespans. We have Clotho, who spun the thread of life, Atropos, who measured the thread, and Lachesis, who cut the thread with the scissors. And here they are. And the Fates were in the Lightning Thief. They were outside the bus stop, and Grover was upset because the one sister cut the thread. And now we know who that was. The 3 Graces. They are the 3 goddesses of grace and beauty, and have been known, they gave life its bloom. We have Algea, which is the goddess of splendor, Eurocene, which is the goddess of mirth, and Talia, which is the goddess of good cheer. So they're known as the Graces. Now we have the Furies, and the Furies should be familiar because one of Percy's teachers did turn into she was a Fury, and she turned into that bat-like creature. And they are the 3 goddesses of vengeance. We have Tisiphone, Alecto, and Megara, and they punish evildoers. So Mrs. Dodds was a Fury. They are the Furies. We have the stators. We know who they are. They're the gods of the wood and the mountains. They're also known as shepherd gods. They're half man and half goat. They are companions of Dionysus, and they like to drink, dance, and chase nymphs. We have the Gorgons. They are 3 snake-haired monsters, and Medusa is the most well-known one. Looking directly at them, turns men into stone. Medusa wasn't originally a monster. Athena punished Medusa, who was originally a beautiful maiden, by transforming her into a Gorgon. I thought they were cool and worth noting. Now we have the Centaurs. We know who they are. They are half man and half horse, and all but Chiron were known as savage creatures, and they are followers of Dionysus. We have the Minotaur. Minotaurs are kind of creepy. They have the head of a bull, the body of a man. And Percy did face off with the Minotaur in the Lightning Thief. So King Minos ordered the craftsmen to build a huge maze known as a labyrinth, where the Minotaur stayed. He lived in the labyrinth and was eventually killed by the Athenian hero Theseus. So what? Okay, Mrs. Gala, we've already done this. So now what are we going to do? Now we're going to get into your project. So you have 2 choices. You could either do a creative project by creating your own epic, or research-based, or presentation. But let me explain a little bit more about epics before you make your decision. So you can either do something creative or something research-based. Either way, you're going to have to do research, but one's more creative and one's more straight-up research-based PowerPoint. But it's up to you. It's your choice. So what's an epic? An epic archetype, in them we have an epic hero who's a hero who serves as a representative of the qualities a culture appreciates most. So they have initiations, a quest, a task, a journey, their hero. A lot of times they're young heroes. We have themes such as heaven versus hell, and they're special helpers. So one of the epic characters we're reading about right now, of course, is Percy Jackson. That's why I included him. So epic literature throughout time has been known as long narratives told in elevated language, often relating to the adventures of larger-than-life heroes. We have the Iliad and the Odyssey, where Odysseus goes and, fights all these creatures to get home. So in some way, epic heroes embody the values of their civilizations. So for example, a hero may demonstrate values of strength, bravery, or intelligence. And we see that in Percy. Percy's very strong, he's very brave, he goes on his quest with Annabeth, and Annabeth we could consider one of these characters as well. And different elements of epic. So what makes an epic an epic? We have a physically impressive hero of national or historical importance. So in Percy's case, he's the son of Poseidon, so that's pretty impressive. There's a vast setting, so where the setting is the time and the place the story happens, so that's a lot, that's vast. A quest or journey in search of something of value. We see that in The Lightning Thief. The involvement of supernatural forces. We see that a lot in The Lightning Thief. A basis in a specific culture or society, and characters struggling against fate. We see all of these elements in both books. And epic characters. What makes a character an epic character? The epic hero represents the values of a society, is the center of every epic. Epic heroes are exceptional people who undertake difficult quests or journeys. And through the journey, heroes aim to achieve something of value to themselves or their people. So a little bit more. Epic heroes may experience many obstacles or conflicts along the way, and these conflicts are sometimes external, created by forces of nature, or, as in many epics and myths, the gods. So if you want to go the creative route, based on all of the information you've learned about Greek mythology from the previous video we did, from this video, from our books, from your research packets that you did the assessment, create your own epic character. Include all of the required information in the template located in Google Classroom. I've set that up separate because I didn't want to make this video crazy long or any longer than it needed to be. If you want to go the research way, some people don't want to do creative stuff, and that's okay. You could do this project. So based on all the information you've learned about Greek mythology, select one of the Greek gods or goddesses and complete a research-based project. Include all of the required information in the template located in Google Classroom. And again, you can either go research, PowerPoint, like if we were going to pick Hera, this is Hera, this is who Hera's parents were, this is what she was the goddess of, this is what she was responsible for, this was a myth about her, and then you create that and present it. So if you have any questions, please see me. We'll be working on these projects in class today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Presentations are scheduled to begin on Thursday. So this project is an assessment grade, so please take it seriously and do your best. And again, see me with any questions. Thank you.